Hey everyone, it's Kay from the Paper Shed. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for coming back and joining me. I am back with the White Rose Detective Agency, Chapter 2, The Case of the Peculiar Butler. And wow, there's been so many immense makes on the Facebook group, and I'm so pleased that everybody is enjoying what they're doing and it shows in their work. So thank you for all of that. I'm going to just crack on. We did tags Monday, and so we did this belly band tag. We did these pocket tags. Did we do anything else? Oh, we did these, didn't we? We did our accordion tag. Love it. And we did our flippy flappy one, which I just love it. I think it gives you loads of writing space and stuff. I haven't found anywhere for those yet, but I'm sure I'll fit them in somewhere. And then I did, what did I do? I did Mandy's file folders somewhere. Where did I put them? Oh, I don't know where I put them. Did I put them in the other journal? I bet I did. I did do them anyway. I thoroughly enjoyed doing those. It was relaxing. It was just so nice to have everything there and then just have to, stamp on them. So I thoroughly enjoyed that. So today I've got a little sort of box fold for you, which lies flat. I first saw it on Angela Kerr. She did it for another collaboration at some point. So I've checked it out and I've had a go and I love it. And it's quite easy. It took a little bit to sort of get it to start with, but I'm going to just show you how to do it. Now you just need a double-sided printed A4 sheet, and we're going to need to cut it down to 10. So your actual sheet, sorry, I've got my instructions somewhere and I've hidden them. So your actual first sheet and cut is at 10 by 8.25. And we're going to use that. So that's not going to go to waste either. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get our scoreboard and we're going to score. Now I've only done double-sided because you'll be able to see inside the box once it's done. So I've done a double-sided piece, but you don't have to. You could stencil the other side or you could book page it. You could do whatever you wanted to, really. Whatever's on the inside will be on your outside flaps, if that makes sense, because you're going to be folding it back. So however you score it, when you score it, make sure that however you want the box, the inside is going to be your outside flaps. So it's what you're going to see. Okay. So I am going to, you do see the other bit, but it's mainly on the back. So you don't really need to worry too much about the back. But you will see some of that. So that's why I decided to do the double-sided piece. I just need to find my score. So what we're going to do is we're going to score at 2 all the way down, and we're going to score at 3.5 all the way down, and turn it right the way around to the other side. This is your 10 across the top, and you're going to score down at 2 and score down at 3.5, and this is going to form your main box. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put the 8.25 along the top, and we're going to score at 1.5 all the way down. Now, because I'm using my smart scoreboard, I've got to do it like that. So I'm going to turn it around again and do exactly the same down that side. Okay. So you can't really see where the lines are, I don't think. Can you? Sort of. What you should have is 4 lines going across and 2, one at the top and one at the bottom. That's what you should have. Then what we're going to do is we're going to cut out these 4 corners here. And I'm just going to use scissors to do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a very small wedge from the inside of this next square. Now I'm not going to do it on this one. This one's going to be straight. Okay, and I'm going to cut that score line out altogether. Same again here. I'm going to just do a little wedge, and then I'm going to cut out straight on the shorter side, or should I say the longer side. It's the longer score line. So small wedge, and then just cut that all the way to the top. Same here, small wedge, and then cut straight along this one. Because these two outer pieces are actually going to be your flaps, so you want those to be straight. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to turn it so that you've got your 3 squares at the top and bottom. Okay. Hold that, and then what you're going to do is you're going to hold it in your hand. So this is the one with the 3 squares on. They're not squares. There's a big long rectangle here and 2 squares on the end. You're going to cut that first square and you're going to go up to that score line. Now you're not going to cut it off. You just want it straight on all 4 sides. Okay. Okay. Then I'm going to turn it over. What I want to do is this. Just going to move those back so that you can see the bit that you're measuring. This measurement here should be around 3 inches if you've done it right. And what you want to do is you just want to mark your 1.5, so your centre mark. Okay, do the same on the other side. So just fold your pieces back, put it on your board, and just measure and mark your 1.5 inch mark. And we can rub those out in a bit. Okay. Now this is the inside. What you're going to do is you're going to find where that centre is, and you're going to bring that down so that this score line here matches this score line here. Now let me darken it so that you can see what I'm doing. So I'll just darken this for you just for a second, and I'll do the other side. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to darken, is it that side? Yeah, just going to darken this inside piece and this inside piece here. I'm only doing this for, you don't need to ink. I just want you to be able to see on camera where I'm folding to and from so that you can see those lines. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your halfway mark, which is there, all right? Hold your nail on it, bring that down, and then what you want to do is you want to get this score line here that I've inked in line with that score line there, as straight as possible. Okay, and then just score that there. Do the same with this side. So pop your nail there, right in the corner, bring that down to meet this one here. Okay, do the same on both sides. So we're just going to mark that one there, bring that line down straight as possible and fold, and do the same with this one and fold. So that's what it should look like, more or less. That one needed to come in just a slight bit more. There we go. Just so that those lines meet. So these lines here match your fold line here and here. Okay? And then what we're going to do, I'm going to bone fold those nice and sharp. And then we're going to open that up. We're going to then bone fold these ones in. There and there. And there and there. And there and there. And what you're going to do is, if you bring the flap up, this big flap, you're going to stick this part onto here. Now I might have a bit sticking out because I didn't make a wedge when I did it. If you need to make a wedge so that it fits a little bit better, then do. But what you want is, you want your straight edge, which is your top piece here, to just go just under that fold line. Okay, and then glue that down. So I'm going to do it as I go along. Okay, I'm going to glue the inside piece all the way around, and then I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to pop that straight with that score line there. Okay, and then just give that a burnish. Alright, make sure that that folds back, and then do this one in the same way. You can cut off any excess in a little while, which I'm going to have to do. So hold it there. I am going to have to cut a little bit off that. So we should have got, okay. And then on this side, you're going to do exactly the same. Put your flap back, score on there. Oh, I should have cut that off first, shouldn't I? And then lift it up, bring your edges together, and make sure that that line there is on there. Okay, write that down. Same on this one, I'm going to cut a wedge in. And then you're going to bring that over, line it up with the score line that runs up there, and just push that down. And then what we're going to do is, we're just going to push those in, and we're going to burnish it all together. So what I should have done then, let me just check. There you go, and that's a box. It's a bit like the end of a paper bag box. Do you know which ones I mean? I've never actually done them, but I loved the way this one came out, and it's pretty, you know, it's 1.5 inches wide, because that's what you put on it. Isn't that cool? I absolutely love it. So this is my piece of paper that I've cut. I just used a piece of copier paper, and I cut it out so that I knew where I'd got to cut. So when I told you to, this was the straight line, and then the wedge on the other side. Hang on. Yeah, the wedge on these bits is a wedge, and then a straight line. And then when you cut this one, you cut that at a wedge. So you're cutting a wedge out of it. That's the bit that I forgot. So you cut a wedge out of these two sides here, and it just saves you having to do that when you're gluing. Isn't that cool? I love it. And then what we're going to do is, this is going to become our belly band, which will go around it, and it just fits. So what you want to do is, you just want to get this part You don't want it too tight. You want it so it just fits, because what you want to do is glue that onto your page so that this can pull out, and then you can get it back in when you've got your bits, which I think is great. Love it. So I think we'll glue that together first so that we have our belly band. So I'm just going to do a small bead down there and a small bead down here, and that will ensure that it's closed both ends so that you don't get no catches. Okay, I'm going to slide that out so it doesn't glue onto because it only just overlaps. So that's going to be my belly band. So that's the back of your box, and that's the reason why you want double-sided paper. But use tea coffee dyed paper or whatever you want to use on the back. It doesn't actually matter. And then that slides over there. And then I want something for the top of it. So what we want is, we want something pretty on the top of there. Well, I wouldn't say pretty, we're in a detective story, so it has to be sort of what we can put in. Angela did a really nice lacy florally thing, which was beautiful. So they can be used for any journal. And then what happens then is you fit that. You can put it on your back page if you wanted to. And that could be the police reports in there, so you could take that out, open your box up, and what can we have inside there? Let's have a look what we've got. So I've got an evidence tag, I've got some fingerprints, I've got an investigation photograph, and I've got a coroner's tag. And then they could actually sit in there, but look at the profile, it just stays flat. I think it's wonderful, and I would use these definitely in some of my other ones. And I love like little trifold things. Isn't that cool? I love it. The other thing that I've got, or that I saw, which we could do today actually, is a really quick and easy method to do paper clips. I've got this bit of tea dyed here, so we could do that. Yeah, I think I'd stick something on there. It needs something underneath, which is fine. And I need to back it, so I'll do that. But that's my make for today. I'd probably stamp on the front and perhaps do a couple of splatters or coffee stain. Something anyway. So any size strip of paper will do this. Fold it in half. Okay. Pop your paper clip on. Doesn't matter what size paper clip it is. And then bring that up there. And then bring that one up there, and you can fold that over the top, and then that's how you glue it on. And then you just decorate them. Now these could be made so simply out of just any strip that's in your stash. Let me do a bigger, thicker one just to show you again. So we've got this one with a couple of decorative edges. Okay, we're going to fold it in half. Just a scrap out of my bin. Any, normal size. Doesn't have to be any particular paper clip. It can be any size you have. Now these ones are just 2-inch, and then you can bring that up to the top, and then you bring this one up the back. Now if you wanted to, because I sometimes like to use mine as dangles, so I would glue my paper clip on like this, and then so I would be tempted to cut that off the back and just glue it across there. If you didn't want to do that though, you could easily just fold that over and glue that down, and then glue that on the top, and then decorate as you want. And these can be wide, much wider if you want them to be. You can have them even longer. Let's see if we've got a longer piece of card. Yeah. Let's just get a piece of coffee dyed paper, and I'll just cut a strip out. And I'll just re-show you just quickly. I'm going to fold the paper in half because I've got to do that anyway. So you can use a strip this long, or you can use a strip this long. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a fairly wide piece off. Okay, I'm going to pop a paper clip. Let's just pick a different paper clip. Here we go. This one is a dead-on 2-inch one, so it's just the same 2-inch. You can fold it up. You can fold it back down, and you can fold this one up, and then you just wrap it until you've got your thing done. And that makes quite a nice, sturdy paper clip. Hidden paper clip, I should say. I love them. I think it's so easy to do. Very, very quick and easy. And you just decorate it, and it can be made out of anything. And if you wanted that to be a much wider and use 2 paper clips, you could even produce pockets. So if this was this one, for instance, you've got your paper clip actually covered there. So if you wanted to, you could bring that back up the front here, and you could have a little pocket on the front and a little pocket on the back even. So there's lots of ways to recreate with this, and you could just use your strips, get some paper clips, make them up, glue them all together, and then they're ready to rock when you want to put any in your journal. That one wouldn't be able to be like that because it's that one wouldn't be able to have a pocket on the back because you're covering the opening up then to your journal, to your paper clip, so that you can pop it onto your journal. But what I like about them is that it gives you this stagger at the back, which is so much easier to put it onto a page. When I first started doing them, people were doing them, to that size, so you were having to fight with it. But this way, it's really quick and easy, and I'll show you what I mean. Literally just goes on. Can go on the side, can go on the top. And again, if you wanted to use the top piece, that's this piece, because I used to like to put dangles on mine because they can sit on the edge of your page, is you literally would just fold it in there and glue it like that, keeping a little ring from your paper clip out there, and then that would just sit on your page. There's so many ways to do these things. It's just fabulous. So that's another handy tip for you there. So I'll be using a few of these, I think, in here just to hold cards and things onto. That's pretty, isn't it? Yeah, getting confused. It's the back bit, isn't it? Yeah, so that's the front, and then your back bit goes off to here. Let's pop it on the top. So easy to use. I love them. I think it's just so quick and easy, and have them already made up, and then all you have to do is decorate them as and when you want them for your journals. Perfect. Okay, so I've gone ahead and decorated this up a little bit. I've popped the belly band on, and then your box comes out like this, and I've got a few bits of ephemera in there, and then I've grounded the corners as well and inked it, and then I've just stuck some stamping on there and some blood splatter and a couple of coffee stains. I love that. I think it's come out really nice. I made a couple of paper clips up, and so I thought we'd just decorate them just to finish off. So I thought we'd just finish off. So I'd just use my glue stick. I found that this is the easiest way to stick this muslin cloth on, where it doesn't stick to everything. So I just wanted to use a bit of that to get that onto there. I'm just going to do them very similar. I've left my paper clips out because instead of putting tabs on this week, I'm going to use these. Sorry, I've had a crafter lunch. I'm going to use these, so I'm going to put a dangle on one of them. So that's probably what I'm going to end up doing instead of putting tabs on this week. I might still put tabs on yet. I'm just not sure. I don't know. And then what I thought we'd do is, I've got a few pieces of ephemera here, so I thought I'd stick the footprint there and the gloves on there. And then I've got these little cards still left, and I thought I'd stick one on there. Now it doesn't quite fit, so I'd centralise it, or I'd stick it at the bottom and then maybe add another couple of little words on maybe. They need something extra, don't they, as well? I think they need something behind it. What can we use? Now I did have some of these left. I wonder if I could just rip some of these up and ink around that, just to make a little bit of a cluster. Doesn't really have to be much. So I've sorted out a few bits and pieces that I think I might want to use. I've got this bit of piece here which I quite like, but I think it needs something lighter behind it. So I'm thinking maybe a label, and then maybe clue down the bottom here. I quite like that one. And then we've got the footprint here. Again, this is bigger. This is slightly longer. So it needs something lighter again behind it, doesn't it? Could be a size 8. Maybe. Could have clue along the bottom there. That one's quite nice. And then this one really just needs a little something else. And what I'm thinking is, I don't have to put, because you could also put tabs on these so that they stick out. So I was thinking maybe a bigger tab. Let's see if I've got a tab that would fit it better. Now I could have this size, which will sit there, and then I could put a word on it. I think I quite like that. Let me just have a look, see if there's a... No, let's just stay with that. But it needs inking, doesn't it? So let's just ink that with whatever's left on my brush. Okay, we'll pop this one on first. Need to go on the glue back up. Let's just stick that onto there. And then stick that over the top. Let's line it up. Give it a good press down because it's going over the top of that paper clip. So you could do them like this as well. Put a eyelet in for a dangle that way instead of using the end of your paper clip. And that will give it a bit of extra. And then we're just going to put this on. Now I think I might round the corners slightly. Maybe on this tiny one. Yeah. and just get that stuck down. Onto there. Then we could stick maybe a word, stolen would fit. Yeah, let's stick that on. Yeah. And then we'll stick them in our journal. It doesn't look straight. It could be the way it's cut. And then we'll get these ones stuck down. So I'm thinking of that. So let's just get that one glued on. And the number 8. Actually, adjust my paper. And then get this footprint on. And we'll just have a clue on the end of here. That's that one. And then this one, same sort of thing. Let's get this down. And then the label. And then we can stick clue on this one as well. It's hard to say they're cute when it's for a detective story, but yeah, quite like the way they've come out. Yeah, so that didn't take long, did it? Oh, I did pull some of this out to put on. Oh well. I didn't think about it. Okay. The other thing I didn't think about is I didn't think about the way that I wanted them to go onto my page. So obviously you need to turn them to the way that you want them to go on your page so that you can decorate them the right way. Because I've gone and done mine all top ones now, which means I can't put a dangle on them. But they're all top loaders, unfortunately. But that would go on there like so. We could decorate the back of these actually. And where can I put? I don't want them on the story pages this time. So we could put one in the middle. That's the only thing you've got to be careful of, is whatever's on the back of your page. And then we could stick one a bit further down. Let's stick you on there. There we go. Yes, I quite like those. So I hope that's been useful to you. Just remember that obviously they need, if you're going to put them on the side, you need to decorate them sideways. I just didn't think. So yeah, mine will have to be top ones for now. And I suppose I can still put or pop something in there. I like the tab being at the top though. So I may redo those now, thinking about it. Yeah, I may do. Because I want them on the side really, and I should have thought about that when I decorated. So I really wanted them this way, and they won't sort of go that way because of the way that I've decorated it. Yeah, so that may be something that you want to think about when you come to decorate any of your paper clips, your hidden paper clips. I like some of them, but I like that one being at the top. That's quite cute. There. And obviously you can get any piece of ephemera and stick that up there, and it will stay on that page for you. That's quite cute. I like those. So I'm loving that. So I hope you found it useful. I will just go over the measurements again just in case you missed it. So the actual is an A4 sheet cut down to 10 inches by 8 1/4. So you just cut the 10 inch and you score at 2 and 3 1/2 on the 10 inch side. On the 8 1/4 side at the top, you score at 1 1/2. And then that will give you your box effect. The bit that you cut off is your belly band. I could have turned that over so that we could have had a different belly band on that. But because I use this leather look, I wanted to keep it as a leather look sort of package, really. So yeah, I hope that makes all sense to you. And your paper clips can be just done out of any scrap pieces, really, to make your little paper clips. So yes, again, I hope that you found something useful and that you can take away and include into your journals. I hope you're thoroughly enjoying it. Next week will be our last week, which is very sad, but we're getting there. And I'm just loving the process, so I hope you are too. So I'm going to continue and work in my book for today, and I will bring you another video Friday. So I hope to see you then. So happy crafting, and I'll see you Friday. Bye for now. Take care.